In all the mainstream media coverage of the whole Greenland affair, the one little detail that's left out of the headlines is that the United States military already controls Greenland. There are already more American soldiers stationed in Greenland than Danish ones. You see, back in 1951, the United States and the Kingdom of Denmark signed the Defense of Greenland Agreement. This bit of paper gives the US the legal right to deploy whatever military assets it wants to Greenland and base them there indefinitely. The US doesn't need Denmark's consent either. Therefore, Trump formally annexing Greenland will make literally zero difference in military terms. It will also make no difference in economic terms, since American companies already have full access to the island. The mainstream media conveniently neglects to headline these details because it makes for better TV to pretend like the Americans are about to do a D-Day invasion of the island, when in reality, they already took over the place back in 1951. What this all means is that Trump's cheeky little grab for Greenland is literally just a symbolic power play to force the Europeans back into the cuck chair. Not that they ever left in the first place. It also allows Trump to aura farm, and more importantly, distract the country from certain heavily redacted files pertaining to a tax consultant who Trump was definitely not best friends with for over a decade. As for the United States as a country, it gains absolutely nothing from this whole made-for-TV drama. Ironically, the only two countries that will actually benefit from this move are the same two countries that Trump claims are somehow competing to occupy Greenland before the US. Of course, I'm talking about Russia and China. For obvious reasons, both Russia and China stand to benefit enormously from a diplomatic divorce in NATO, which is exactly what Trump's little PR power move will lead to. Now, if the mainstream media had actually done its job for once and explained to the public that this is purely a PR power move from Trump, then the Eurocucks in Brussels wouldn't be under so much domestic pressure to retaliate against it. But because the media is framing this as a literal ground invasion of European territory, those European leaders are now forced to retaliate, even if it's just for the cameras. Fortunately for them, they thought ahead for once and cooked up something back in 2023 called the Anti-Coercion Instrument, better known as the Trade Bazooka. This Trade Bazooka is a raft of economic sanctions primarily targeting the American tech sector. It was designed specifically for this very scenario of Trump returning to the White House and ritualistically humiliating the European Union. Needless to say, this retaliatory trade bazooka will force Trump to retaliate in turn. And if the tit-for-tat trade war between China and Trump has taught us anything, it's that trade wars force countries into escalating cycles of retaliation. However it plays out between the Europeans and Americans, the only winners will be in Moscow and Beijing. For the Russians, this will mean even less American support for Ukraine. If the Europeans and Americans beef so hard that they can't be in the same room together, then they sure as hell can't form a united front against Russia. Ukraine will be cooked, even more cooked than it is already. And for the Chinese, the economic benefits are enormous. Beijing has always wanted to pry the Europeans away from the American agenda. They lost Huawei in Europe purely because of American pressure. Then there's the whole drama with ASML in the Netherlands. ASML didn't want to stop selling its EUV machines to China. They only stopped because the Americans forced them to. So if the Europeans break with the Americans over Greenland, then China no longer has to worry about the Europeans shutting them out just because of American coercion. So going forward, China and Europe will actually be able to do business like normal partners, without the US busting down the door every time they try to make a deal. All of this is why both China and Russia have been surprisingly quiet on the issue of Greenland. It's one of those classic don't interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake moments. Both Putin and Xi are grinning ear to ear at the prospect of the American empire alienating its most important client states for literally no gain other than to make Trump feel like he's got the biggest D in the room. As for me, I've got the popcorn ready for this one, and I'm happy to share if you want some. So pull up a chair and let's watch this meme show unfold in 4K. While you're at it, make some sacrifices to the YouTube algorithm gods and like, comment, and subscribe. And tell me if you like this kind of shorter form content. And until next time, peace.